Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Nick Cage Fight Podcast, where we summarize, analyze, and go over in pedantic detail every single film Nicolas Cage has starred in, the good, the garbage, and everything in between. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, joined as always by Rich and Ryan. How are we feeling?
I have been trapped in paradise for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also my opening. I don't know who I am anymore.
All of us, due to incredible technical difficulties, has literally been stuck in paradise for 3 weeks now, and I can't stand it anymore. So we duct taped together a rig to get this recording done, and not a moment too soon, because I can't go on like this.
No, this is insanity. We were trying to get this out for Christmas, and as we sit here on January 11th.
Yeah, I think maybe we should push back Family Man till next year. Can't do another Christmas movie this late after Christmas.
Yeah. True.
So, where we last left off, just refreshing everybody's memory here in our separate studios, is the bank has just been robbed in Paradise, PA, and the Firpo brothers.
God, I forgot that was their fucking last name.
I had to double check my notes because I was like, Firpos? I was like, what the fuck is going on? Have successfully gotten in the getaway car after a couple of snafus, and gotten away. At this point, we cut to the prison where Dave got the idea to rob the bank from a mobster guy that was in prison, talking about his plan to rob this bank once he got out of prison. So this mobster guy is in prison, and he is told that bank had just been robbed. It's on the news, and he immediately assumes that Dave and Alvin did it based on his conversations with them.
That's a little jump in believability for me that a small town bank would make the news in like New York.
What was it, like also, $250,000? $250,000 bank heist might make the news.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, but that's not even that. I feel like that's not a lot of money for a bank heist. I feel like if you're trying to knock over a bank, you want to try to at least get to like the 7-digit like figure, you know?
Yeah.
First of all, in 1994, and second of all, I'm not up on modern bank robberies. What was the most successful bank robbery in the last 10 years? Does anybody know?
No idea.
No, I can tell you 2 stories because I grew up with somebody who tried to rob a bank.
Sure.
That's really cool.
No, it's he grew up like 2 houses down from a TD bank in a certain town that we all know.
Christ.
And
I can see it in my mind's eye in the place beyond knowing. Yes.
Yes. Ran out of drugs. Didn't have any money, so went down, put his hand in his pocket, slipped the teller a note saying, "I have a gun, give me money." They gave him like not a lot of money, like $800, and he was caught almost immediately.
Yeah, you would be.
What do you think the lowest amount he would have walked out of there for?
Like $40.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm about to say probably $40. He was on heroin. And then there was a pro wrestler named Nick Gage who did rob a bank.
Yeah,
he robbed a bank for like $30,000. Went to Atlantic City and just blew it all on things you blow it on, like drugs and hookers and fancy hotel rooms. And after a week, he had spent all the money. He's like, all right, and then just surrendered to the cops.
That's a class act right there.
Were they on to him, or did he just show up and just been like, all right, I'm done with the money?
So there were pictures
I had
of
my
him.
crime.
There were pictures of him doing it because, like, one of the jokes were, and I'll send you guys the Dark Side of the Ring on him. Because they actually make this joke, which is like Nick Gage, famous for wearing a bandana mask to the ring, doesn't wear a mask to rob a bank.
Incredible.
So they're releasing the footage and you just see his face. So he knew, he's like, I'm fucked. I'm just going to have a good time with this money and then surrender myself.
We're rebranding as the Nick Gage Fight podcast.
Josh, I don't know if you're ready for that. I've shown you some Nick Gage stuff and you were like, oh no.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I can be the fresh perspective on it. And that way you can do the synopses of the match and I can just watch and react in horror. A little role reversal.
Here's him almost murdering David Arquette.
I always forget that David Arquette did a little wrestling in his time.
Yeah, and then got his neck sliced by a shredded light tube and stopped.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that'll really put a damper on your spirits for your new hobby.
Yeah. Especially when like you're a 48-year-old David Arquette.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need that shit. So that being said, again, I'm not overly aware of successful bank robberies. I don't know that they happen very often in the modern age. Also, you got to figure if they do ever happen, like it's in the bank's best interest to keep that shit to themselves.
Yeah, and
right?
just file an insurance claim.
Yeah. Anyway, now I'm gonna have to fucking do a deep dive on
I'm also
bank
curious
robbery.
if you find out
Yep.
anybody's gotten some real good big scores. Let me know. I'm kind of curious.
I was gonna say if we were on our traditional setup, this is the part of the episode where we would have lost Ryan to furiously clacking on his keyboard for research, and then 15 minutes later he would tell us about the top 10 bank robberies in the last 10 years. So
I mean, I'm still gonna do that.
Yeah. All I have to say is fuck you, Xfinity. Fuck you completely. Fuck you into a thin paste.
Yeah, we were never gonna get the sponsorship anyway, so
Yeah.
Suck it.
Yeah.
Suck it, Xfinity.
Fucking monopolists.
So at this point, a helicopter arrives in Paradise, and a special agent gets out to investigate the bank robbery. He says, there's a snowstorm and it's coming down hard, so it should be easy to find the robbers, especially if they were trying to go north. Which of course leads to us cutting to the Furpos, who immediately shout out that they are going north. So that being said, Alvin has no sense of direction, which is something that I can identify with very much so. So it's possible that they might have turned around completely. However, their car is spotted by a state trooper who gives chase like right away. They lose control of the vehicle and run off the road and crash. I can't remember if the cop car crashes too, but they basically run the car off of a bridge, but like tiny bridge over like
a little tiny bridge, like a little ravine bridge.
Yeah, like a retention ditch is what it's over. And there a friendly local spots the wreck and picks him up. He lets them all know that all of the roads leading to the interstate are closed. And he'll take them back to his family's house because they got no way to get out of there anyway. There's a funny bit where he makes them sing in the car, since they'll need to sing at his aunt's house when they arrive, and he drives them directly back into Paradise, where of course they arrive at the bank manager's house.
By the way, the most successful bank heist, 2007, $282 million in Baghdad.
Oh, okay.
That's
a decent chunk of cheddar.
So the reason why I'm saying most successful is like I found a list of biggest, and this was the biggest where they never found the people responsible.
Okay. That's still like later than I anticipated for a successful bank heist.
And more money than I anticipated.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, Baghdad kind of makes sense comparatively because like, if you did that shit in the U.S. within 10 years of 9/11, they're fucking getting your ass.
Now, the largest ever was a series of bank robberies in 2003, also in Iraq during the Iraq War. So while it was happening, Saddam Hussein like basically withdrew $1 billion from like the national bank and just like kept it. And then when the American soldiers like found him, they just looted the fuck out of it.
Of course.
So that
Yeah.
counts as a bank heist?
I count that as a bank heist.
Okay.
35 service members were caught. So there's so many Americans just running around with Saddam Hussein money.
I'm not gonna lie.
Roughly the same plot as that George Clooney movie, fucking Three Kings.
Space Jam?
Yeah.
That was gold specifically.
That was gold. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that 2007 Baghdad bank robbery that smacks of former U.S. military members.
Yeah.
if the cops need any tips in what direction to look, that's where I would fucking start.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like wait 50 years and check out the declassified CIA documents where you realize it was just the CIA.
I feel like the CIA is less oddly less covert about that shit.
Yeah.
They're like, no, all of our money is in heroin and cocaine and arms trading.
I was gonna say it's secondhand AKs.
Yeah, we don't sully our hands with fucking bank robberies. What are we in kindergarten? So back in paradise, the bank manager's family is, of course, super nice, sweet enough to give you diabetes. These strangers in their house, they get them changed out of their clothes into dry stuff, from their own presence underneath the tree, so brand new shit.
I know, like just the nicest people in the world. Yeah. Real salt of the earth.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And they also learned that Sarah, the lady who worked at the bank, lives there as well. She rents out one of their upstairs rooms. She is the only one who seems like less than enthused that these people are here. Everybody else is like fucking psyched about it, which is crazy to me.
Got that holiday spirit.
I know I've told this story on the podcast before. I'm almost positive of it. But since this is set in Pennsylvania, it bears repeating very briefly. One of the times my wife and I were in, because we like to cheaply vacation in rural Pennsylvania. And we went to one of these like little tourist trappy towns. And there was no parking, the place that we were at. And there was like a little hand-drawn sign saying parking here, $20 or something like that. And when we pulled in, there was like a bucket, like a literal bucket that you put cash in. No lockbox, no like slot to drop it through, just a bucket of cash. And I put it in there, and we went next door and asked the people at the coffee shop if they knew anything about that or if that was legit or not. And they're like, we have no idea. So I went back out and called the number on the sign. And this guy's like, oh, yeah, I just bought this building right here. I'm renovating it. And so I'm letting people use the parking lot. And he came out on the balcony and like waved to me. And I was like, oh, I was like, so my car's not going to get towed? He's like, no. And I was like, my apologies if this is a weird conversation for you. It's a weird conversation for me. I'm from New Jersey. We don't trust like that.
No.
No, especially, oh my God, I can't even imagine.
It was one of those things where you're ever in a place and you realize you're bringing down the property values.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere I go.
Yeah, so
yeah, a little bit. I just walk around and property values drop 5%.
I'm the living embodiment of that one guy that just goes out to his backyard and shoots a gun like every month to keep the property values down.
There you go. That's fair. But yeah, a friend of mine went to lived in New Jersey their whole life, went to college like down south, didn't have a vehicle, so they walked like a mile to school every day. And every time to and from, like 15, 20 people would be like, hey, do you need a ride? Do you need a ride? And it took like 2 weeks for it to sink in. It's like, oh, these aren't murderers. The only people that would offer something like that where I'm from. So yeah, that's I think that's the vibe that they're specifically going for here. And so I had a couple of examples that I was like, yeah, okay, I could see this. So the TV's on, and Dave learns that Mizuchi, I think, is the name of the mobster dude from prison.
That sounds
Mizuchi
right.
and one of his cohorts escaped from the prison during the blizzard that's currently happening.
Right, and they only escaped like because of the blizzard, like they escaped in like a snowplow or something.
Yeah, I forget what it was, and like also they escaped because they heard the news of the fucking bank robbery.
Right, it was like one of those things where it's like he was just chilling in prison, I guess to be nice, and he could escape anytime he wanted. So he heard about this and was just like, "Fuck this, I'm out." As prisons famously are.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean that's roughly what goes down with Goldblum and what's his face in Raising Arizona. They're just like, yeah, we're gonna leave now.
Yeah, that's right.
You mean John Goodman?
Yeah, John Goodman.
He
That's
said
right.
Goldblum, and I'm just like, where's he going with this?
Yeah, fair. And
Goldblum,
I can't remember the other guy. Goodman.
John Goodman and not John Goodman is what I called them.
Yeah.
I forget
Forsyth?
who the other
Was it
one
William
was.
Forsythe?
I think so.
Okay.
Listener,
I'm
if you're curious,
powerless
go
without my
listen to that
internet.
episode. Write in. Let us know. Remind us who this other person was. There's it's I call it a funny aside because I think this is referenced in one other scene in the rest of the film. The family has a 3-legged dog named Tripod.
Yes.
And
yes.
If you put a 3-legged dog in your piece of media, I will mention it, even if it's completely ancillary to the story.
Yeah.
That dog was just there too. They decided to cast him when they were on site because the director was like, "Oh shit, a 3-legged dog!"
Like, how many times do you have a chance to film this? This is amazing.
This will put money. It'll put butts in the seats.
Yeah.
And I just imagine it's actually just Nick Cage being like, "Here's a 3-legged dog. Let's film this shit."
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of trivia I would not question. At this point in our journey through this, I would not be surprised if like a tidbit was like Nick Cage found a 3-legged dog living on the street and convinced the director to put it in the film.
Well, remember, Nick Cage essentially directed this movie.
He did, yeah, that's right.
True. He convinced himself to put that dog in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what else he did? He insisted on ads for people who don't give us $1 a month. Right now.
You gotta give.
You gotta
give. And there's your I think you should leave.
Yeah. It's always there's always one.
Yeah, we just gotta hit the Sopranos, and that's it.
And why not a Twins Peak?
That's
we
another
can
one.
hit a Twins Peak.
I mean, we gotta because we got Shelly's here. H&Amic.
All right, so listen to these ads real quick. Just fast forward or give us $1.
Give us $1.
Don't fast forward. It's illegal. Give us $1.
You can fast forward. That's fine. That's fine.
No, it's illegal. Don't do it.
How about you fast forward, then give us $1?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Compromise. I like it. Okay, here's ads.
Also, breaking the law is cool. Here's ads.
Man, it took us like 30 seconds to get through that one.
We kept one upping
Josh, put your personal politics to the side and let them give us $1.
They can give us
$1.
I would never say no to them giving us $1, but at the same time, break the law. It's neat. No, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. Do not hold me liable for your bad decisions.
I do say do crimes.
I am a lawyer, and crime is super cool.
It's so cool. Why do you think all the best movies are about criminals? Goodfellas, Godfather.
Ever see
Taxi
Heat?
Driver.
Heat's like one of the best movies ever made. It's about crime because it's cool.
Fucking Thief? Come on. I could keep naming these for hours.
Dude, now I'm just picturing. I'm curious. There has to be a literal legal reason why, like your local criminal defense attorney that you can hire isn't like his ad isn't just break the law. It's awesome. Hire me afterwards. That is who I would fucking call. I'll say
Absolutely. Yeah.
that.
He knows what he's about.
um so Dave panics after seeing um this news story and calls his mom from the family's home. And of course, Mizuchi is already there and holding their mom hostage in exchange for the money. Um,
The
Dave,
timeline's a little tight, I think, but
it's incredibly tight. And also, I have to say, I am very impressed with the speed of their news cycle.
yes, exactly.
Dave has to think quickly to keep Bill from grabbing the phone and finding out exactly what's going on, and manages to deflect Bill's suspicion about Dave and this whole enterprise. So they sit down for dinner. There is a very funny scene where Alvin empties the entirety of a gravy boat on his plate, which is just rank absurdity.
Well, because why wouldn't he? He's stealing the gravy.
It's so ridiculous. It's like, again, it's one of those bits that I would expect to see in Wayne's World, where he's just like, they're like talking and everything. He just keeps pouring fucking gravy.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It kind of smacks of the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the guy making the mashed potato spaceship.
mm-hmm. So during dinner, the brothers are informed that the robbery is likely to shut down the little bank entirely, and allow a larger national chain to take over. When they question how like such a small bank got so much money to lose in the first place, they basically learned that the banker was doing an altruistic small scale version of the housing crisis, or what triggered the housing crisis, which was giving loans to people who didn't have collateral to cover it, in an effort to keep this little town alive. Um, so I don't see how that would work out for them in the long term, but this is apparently a thing that they had been doing.
Yeah, he seems
Um,
like a shitty banker. He doesn't do capitalism very well.
yeah, but also not just even general financial planning. Like I understand taking on riskier loans to a certain extent, and I guess like the townsfolk did, pay shit back, with terms that were more favorable than maybe their circumstances qualified them for. But long term, I don't know how that would have functioned. Um,
Well, I mean, you'd have another housing collapse, obviously.
yeah, but
Well,
just
yeah.
in paradise.
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily like home loans. It was like business loans and shit.
Yeah.
So it's just kicking the can down the road, I guess, for failing mom and pop shops. Anyway, so it probably actually all would have worked out in the end when they finally got bought out by like a Starbucks and shit like that, and they just paid down their back debt. So anyway, Sarah calls around and finds a bus that is going to be going to Philly for the Furpo brothers. She, like I said, she's the only one that seems to want them out of there. The family is still incredibly nice to them as they're leaving. I think they give them more shit like wool caps and whatnot so that they're warm. I think they even offer them money.
They
Like
do.
yeah, you're gonna need this to get back. Anyway, so Sarah drives them to the bus station. And this is where we see that the guys that worked in the shop that Alvin was stealing shit from, where they got the ski masks and whatnot, are like deputized and suspicious of the Furpo brothers. So they're still staking them out and following them.
Yeah, which I believe I said in like the first episode, I didn't like how there were two sets of villains, but like this set is like the bumbling idiot villains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the other set of villains, We cut to the mobsters driving Ma Furpo.
The best bit in the fucking
I was
movie.
gonna say I kind of love this.
This
They
it's
struck comedy gold here.
it's so good.
She is the funniest character in the whole fucking thing,
Yeah.
in my opinion. She's just tormenting them. Like
It's not your
talking to
opinion, it's a fact.
it's a great bit. So Sarah drops off. It's funny because you're just making jokes about the twins peak. In my notes, I have Sarah drops off the brothers Furpo and takes off. Bill goes to get tickets. And he is in fact short of cash, at least the cash in his own wallet. So he dips in to go into the cash stolen from the bank. However, cops come into the bus station right at this moment. So he bails on snagging cash from the duffel and just is like, I can't pay for these tickets. And the lady, of course, like every person in this mythical place in Pennsylvania, is just like, I'll cover you. Literally goes into her own wallet and pays for his tickets. And tells him Merry Christmas, basically. So as they go outside and get ready to board the bus, the shop boys rush in, like right when it looks like the other cops are going to be stopping Bill to question him. And they grab the duffel bag, and Bill causes a scene by grabbing the one guy's gun and firing into the ground, which causes chaos. Everybody scatters. This interrupts the other police officers.
Is this where Nick Cage yells like, he has a gun?
He has a gun.
Yes.
And in the chaos, Bill is able to snag the duffel bag and make good an escape, where the all of the other cops rush the scene and detain the shop guys. It is a good unhinged Cage scene.
Yeah, definitely.
It might be the most unhinged Cage that we get the whole movie.
Yeah, quite possibly. Agent Pizer is back at the command center, which I think is like a gym or something like that, wherever they co-opted for their workspace, with the boys from the shop who are trying to clear up what happened at the bus station, and they get a lead on the car that the Furpo boys ditched. So this was the car that they came to Paradise in with all the guns in the back, that they pushed into a lake and stole another car in order to rob the bank. So they go to investigate that while the Furpo brothers work on trying to steal a boat to escape the town via river.
It's some fucking Looney Tunes shit, honestly.
Yeah.
It's very cartoonish. And Ma Furpo has successfully tormented the mobsters enough that they put her in a trunk.
Where she continues to torment them.
Yeah, she is shit talking them the entire fucking time.
Yeah, like slam it against the back of the rear seating and everything.
She's a real one.
Yeah, real firecracker, that Ma Furpo. So the river escape doesn't go super great. Alvin falls overboard. There's a police helicopter spotlighting the river. Bill and Dave have to abandon the boat on the shore and try and chase Alvin to where, again, the saints that live in Paradise are like forming. They spotted Alvin floundering in the water and formed a human chain. And I'm talking like fucking 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds.
Yeah.
There's like not a young person amongst them. Human chaining themselves into freezing cold water to save Alvin from certain death.
Well, I mean, this is a town that doesn't have a young person in sight outside of Sarah.
Yeah, I was
Everybody
gonna
in
say the only
like this
person
town
that's under 50 is fucking Shelley from Twin Peaks.
Yeah, like this town is going to die in 15 years.
No, there's the cross-eyed sheriff's son. There's the
He's not reproducing.
No, he's not gonna lay
fair.
his seed anyway.
He's asexual.
But also the dude who picks him up, the one that's like
He got really into
nephew.
Andrew Tate.
The nephew of the bank manager.
Also very into Andrew Tate.
No, he was a nice young man. If anything, is Jordan Peterson. He looks like the kind of guy who makes his bed every morning. You know what I'm saying?
He thinks that men are stealing women's magic with their penises.
Yeah, he
Oh,
fears
so
the
he's
mystical
Dave
dragon
Sim.
of femininity.
So he's the cartoonist Dave Sim who worked on Cerebus.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the townsfolk bring Alvin into the rescuing family's house and literally save him from death. Like CPR, get him to spit up water and not die. Just barely. The FBI pulls the abandoned Furpo car from the water where they find ski masks that were left in it after the robbery.
It would have to be, yeah.
Yeah.
And the family that saved Alvin brings the Furpos to church, where they run back into Sarah and the bank manager, whose name is escaping me right now.
Revolver guy from The Thing.
Yeah, the guy from The Thing. So Sarah pulls Bill aside at this point, and we get my favorite joke in the movie, which when I tell you guys it's dumb, but for whatever reason, the delivery of these lines got me so bad. So Alvin, Dana Carvey's character, says to Dave, I'm gonna go into confession. And Dave is like, they don't have confession, they're Protestants. You know, Alvin goes, are you shitting me? And he's like, no. I don't know why that got me so good. But
no, it's the next line. It's the well, I'm still going that gets me.
The I'm still going to like they're Protestants, they don't have confession. Are you shitting me? The delivery of these lines is excellent.
Especially because Dave Carvey is losing his fucking mind with that accent.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And Lovitz put some stank on the new afterwards. So anyway, that one got the biggest laugh out of me. So Sarah sort of calls out Bill on having robbed the bank, and he sort of calls her out on lying about her last name to the townsfolk and being related to this imprisoned mobster. It's clear that Bill is second guessing this whole scheme at this point and would like to undo it, however he can. He does also have feelings for Sarah because he tries to kiss her and she politely refuses. After she walks off, I forgot how stupid this gets.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
After she walks off,
and like the whole romantic side plot is so dumb. It's just kind of like
it's shoehorned in there for no reason.
It is like the same as that line from The Office when Daryl's just like, I'm hot, you're hot, let's do this thing.
So Alvin and Dave pull up in a horse-drawn sleigh. And Bill gets in and they take off just ahead of the police. This is one of the funnier chase scenes I've seen because this horse-drawn sleigh is navigating these snowy roads much better than these police cars and FBI vehicles that are slipping all over the place, unable to catch up with the horse and sleigh, all eventually crashing and the boys getting away.
Yeah, it's some Benny Hill shit.
Yeah, it really is some Keystone Cops shit. So the having gotten away from the police pursuit, the boys try and hitchhike a little further away from town, having abandoned the sleigh. However, Merlin, which is the name of the horse that is pulling the sleigh, in case you were wondering,
I was wondering.
The sleigh breaks through the ice over whatever body of water that they parked this on, and we almost get a shit. I'm gonna fuck up the name of this horse, and nobody's gonna ever let me forget it. We get an almost A-Trax situation going on here?
Ah, shit, I can't remember. The never-ending story horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I think Atrax is correct, but I haven't seen those in years, so
Okay.
Okay,
don't
here
quote me on
I
that.
I will play the part of Ryan and feverishly type.
Okay.
I mean, I can feverishly type. It's just not going to go anywhere. I'm doing it right now.
Artax?
Artax. All right.
You
So
fucking idiot. You
a
nincompoop.
minor
You
transcription
absolute
error.
Base
failure.
goon.
How dare you? Put some respect on that name.
It was close, and I blotted out the memory for my own safety because that is not what belonged in a children's movie.
No.
Hey, I prefer when children's movies were deeply unsettling. I'll
Yeah,
watch.
well,
Fuck. If I ever have kids, I'm making them watch Watership Down.
You're a monster. So, to prove my point, this movie has more of a heart as far as not ruining adults' Christmas time viewing. In that even the cold hearts of the brothers Firpo is moved, and they work together to save Merlin the horse from being pulled down into the icy depths of whatever fucking body of water they were on. A lake, maybe a puddle. I'm honestly not sure.
Let me pull up a map of Paradise, PA again.
Keep forgetting it's a real place.
It is a real place.
That we're gonna go to after we buy a bulk case of Trapped in Paradise DVDs and hand them to every local we see. We're gonna run out of that town.
We're gonna sign him as Nick Cage, and then in very small font, fight.
There's a tiny lake.
Is there a river that runs through it?
I mean, according to this, there is, but like I don't see it. So maybe it's one of those things where it was and just global warming caught up.
Maybe. So yeah, so they save the sleigh and the horse from the water, and then take the sleigh to a diner. Because we see it parked outside.
I miss good diners. I feel like there aren't any fucking good diners anymore.
Well, I mean, they died in 2020.
Central.
We do, but none of them are any good anymore. They all suck.
I think you're remembering diners with some rose tinted glasses there.
All I want is for them to be open 24 hours. None of them are open 24 hours anymore.
Really?
Yes. That is the only thing that stops me from saying that we have good diners. Because I'm not expecting good food at a diner. I'm just expecting to be able to go to a diner at 3 a.m. when I want a cup of coffee and 2 greasy eggs.
Yeah. I get that.
I haven't found myself in a situation where I was looking for a diner at that time in some years, but I'm getting fucking old.
Yeah, about to say I'm like in bed by like 12:30 these days. Like a late night for me is 1:30 a.m. I'm like, oh man, I gotta leave this bar. It is 1 a.m. Ungodly hours.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. Gone are the days where I've walked out and been like, "Oh, the sun is coming up. This. I'm really gonna feel terrible for about."
Yeah,
an hour
I can't do that shit
morning.
anymore. But I can't fall asleep before 2 a.m. It's just never been possible for me.
You'll get there, buddy. A couple more years on, it'll happen.
Yeah, listen, it hit me late too. Everybody told me by the time I was 30 that like shit would catch up with me, and then I was fine at 30. It was 32 for me. 32 was when I fucking hit my wall.
About to be 35. So I have a sneaking suspicion in the next couple of weeks I'm just gonna die.
No, you seem more resilient than the rest of us. I realized I was old when I sprained my ankle once a couple years back. So I think I'm 36 now. I stopped counting after 21 because you don't unlock anything new.
Well, 24.
24 for renting a car.
I would never do that. So I sprained my ankle a couple of years ago, and it hurt for 6 months straight.
Oh my
god.
Well, listen, you know what you can do for a broken ankle, right? You can
gas station dick pills.
Yeah, you can get gas station dick pills, or maybe there's another ad that is coming up, or the guaranteed foolproof way to have a sprained ankle healed in a week. Give us $1.
Oh, we are faith healers. Give us $1.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, prosperity
Mhm.
gospel. The more you give, the more you get.
With enough $1 donations, we can start a tent revival. Can I get an
We will
amen?
call down the healing power of Nick Cage for all you Cage heads out there that give. If you give, you will be healed.
I feel like Nick Cage has to be a faith healer in a movie coming up soon.
Yeah, that seems like a perfect casting for him. Where the fuck was he in that Righteous Gemstones show?
I know he would have
Yeah.
been great.
Well,
That's
he
That would have
said
been
he
exactly
wants
what
to
I was
do
awesome.
more
thinking.
TV. Maybe season 4.
I'd fucking pay to whatever channel that is to actually watch that and not pirate it.
You heard it. Please get this script to Nick Cage.
Even I'll give.
All right, so listen, either give and get healed or don't and listen to these ads. Maybe they can help you. I almost wanted to try and do like how you can bait out bots on Twitter nowadays by just
Oh, it's
Yes.
saying the
so
right
easy.
combination of things. I
Yeah.
just want to be like hurt ankle, joints over 50. Just see if we can trick AdSense into putting something in there for that. Unfortunately, I don't think the shotgun scatter ads are quite like that. We would have ended up with the Texas catheter ads.
Oh, that'd be dope.
I'm just surprised we haven't gotten ads for the jacking pants.
Yeah, those are more like non-audio ads. Audio ads have are I have to look at what the proliferation of those are because
I mean, it's like used cars dealerships is the big one. You got medical stuff and BYU.
yeah, yeah, those Mormons love their ads.
They fucking love radio. They're so pissed that TV took over.
They're like radio's coming back, baby. As soon as all these heathens stop drinking caffeine.
That's
Specifically
never gonna
AM
happen.
radio. They love AM radio.
I mean, look, AM radio kind of fucks because like late at night sometimes you can get like Chicago stations, and that is kind of a cool thing that can happen.
Oh, you mean like coast to coast with George Norrie, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, or just like when I was a kid and was like way more into sports than I am now, like if it was like 10 o'clock at night and the Cubs were playing in like the eighth inning, I could tune in to like 1000 AM and kind of get it.
Okay.
And that was like, I don't know, that was cool. That was interesting to me how AM and FM radio waves work.
That
But
is
we're not here to talk
I'm
about
sorry, I was
radio
completely
waves.
distracted by the fact that you have a visual ad running right now for Taco Bell in your background. And so the whole time you were going on about AM, FM, I was like, oh shit, Rich is living Moss right now.
I do have a Taco Bell bag in the background. I do.
I got
No, I
wildly
lived in Moss
distracted by that
earlier.
just now.
Well, you see, because I have been so poor recently because my job is fucking terrible. I've come up with a way where I know exactly when to eat so that I only eat one meal a day, and that one meal a day is normally $8 from Taco Bell.
Snake meal. I call it snake meal.
Yeah.
I've been at that point several times in my life. And you eat one meal and it makes you real sick and tired. And then you go to
And then
bed.
you just sleep until your next snake meal. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been living like that for like 10 years now.
So back to this movie real quick.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, just for a minute.
Yeah. So Bill tells Alvin and Dave, look, this was a mistake. I still have the keys to the vault, and I'm going back into town and I'm putting the money back. Which I don't know if that gets you out of being in trouble. I feel like it should.
Yeah.
Um, Dave tries to argue against this, excuse me, briefly, but Alvin agrees with Bill. Alvin has also been charmed by this place and these people. So Alvin also basically blows up all of Dave's concocted bullshit. He explains that Bill isn't in fact wanted back in New York. Um, Dave had picked up his wallet. It wasn't left at the scene and found by the cops when they were chased initially. And Bill was right in his original assumption that this whole thing was a setup from the get-go to get him to agree to the bank robbery. Dave eventually does confess to all this as well. I can't when Bill's like, put all the cops that showed up at the restaurant. I think he's like, yeah, I called him and told him I was on the roof with a sniper rifle or something like that.
I don't think I caught that line when I watched it. That's really fucking good.
He chuckled. It's something like that. Like it is on par with like, oh yeah, I just called in a bomb scare or some shit. And Bill looks like he takes it okay, and then he gets up and flips the fucking table. And as he walks out of the diner, tells him to put it on Dave and Alvin's tab. And he leaves with the duffel of money. Bill hitchhike, or no, he goes to, it's a gas station nearby
to get dick pills.
What was that?
To get dick pills?
Specifically to get Rhino 69,
well,
420,
to get dick pills and
75 experience points,
and find somebody to take him back to paradise. And he does, coincidentally. It just so happens that it's the mobsters that are going to paradise to find the Firpo brothers, but they found the one Firpo brother that they don't recognize and the one Firpo brother that wouldn't recognize them.
Oh no, hijinks ensue.
Yeah,
so wacky.
Goofy hijinks and coincidence. So he gets in the car that has his own mother in the trunk. And they take off as Dave and Alvin try, like they see this happening and try and get out and stop it, but they're too late. So Bill's talking with the mobsters on the ride, and they learn he thinks he's in love. He's fallen for one of these local girls, Sarah, who happens to be the driver, the big mobster's daughter. He says he doesn't have a picture of her, but he does have a picture of his mother, and he pulls it out to show them, which is when they realize he's a Firpo and has the money.
Hold on, I'm about to say.
So I was going to say, I kind of love this bit, and you kind of glossed over it because
they're
like
the same thing.
Yeah, you've got a picture of your mother. We've got pictures of our mothers. Let's compare.
Let's compare. And then Nick Cage says, "Well, you show me yours, and I'll show you mine."
Yeah. It's a really good bit.
It is a good bit. Also making fun of Italians in general, which is hilarious.
Yeah, which is always to do. Correct. Yes. As an Italian, yes.
So there's a big scene where Bill manages to escape the vehicle as the mobsters are trying to shoot him. And I can't remember why they keep driving. I guess because they were firing guns and this is drawing attention. But Bill basically manages to roll out of the car and get away. He's back in paradise at least. And Alvin and Dave show up right then with the sleigh and the horse, and they ride back into town together and over to the bank. Inside the bank, Bill relays what happened to him in the car with the mobsters, and Dave continues to lie. He had a brief moment where he's telling the truth, and now he's back to lying. So they have the bank manager's keys, but it's a whole key ring. And Bill uses the wrong key to try and get into the vault, and it sets off the alarm. So the cops and the FBI agents get a call that the bank alarm is going off, and they scramble to converge on it. The inside of the vault is locked down, and so the Firpos can't return the money, so they run off with it. They manage to get out of there before the cops show up, and their backup plan is to pile the money along with a note in front of the church before knocking and running away. Ding dong ditching with $250,000.
Instead of a flaming bag of dog shit.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
I much prefer their version.
Yeah, I'd rather have like $250,000 than some flaming dog shit.
So the boys on their way away from the church run directly into where the shop boys are replacing a tire that was shot out by Agent Pizer right before the horse-drawn sleigh car chase, because these guys have thoroughly pissed off Pizer. So they hold the brothers up at gunpoint and drive off, barely missing the FBI agents as they're leaving the bank, having found nobody there. However, I'm sorry, not just the FBI agents, like the local cops and stuff like that, because it turns out that Agent Pizer is following the shop boys at this point. The shop boys take the Furpos to the bank manager's house, where the mobsters are already parked on the road as they arrive. Agent Pizer in his tailing car sees this convergence of a bunch of different things, and they call in backup. So when the shop boys walk into the bank manager's house, they get pistol whipped by the mob guys. And Bill sees this is a convergence of basically every character that we've run into so far. Ma Furpo is there, and Bill sees her. Dave finally comes clean about everything, basically. Bill confesses to the assembled family that they robbed the bank, but begs the head mobster Vic not to do anything to these people because they're good. And they also tell him that they put the money back. They gave it to the church, so they don't even have the cash here. So this whole hostage situation is basically wasted. Backup arrives, and the FBI gets on a bullhorn and lets everybody know they're surrounded. We also learn at this point that Dave completely fabricated the letter from Vic to Sarah in the first place. So
that seemed like a Dedoy.
Yeah,
like from
not
the
even
beginning,
a shred of anything there. So Timmy, the cross-eyed sheriff's kid, manages to knock back one of the mobsters and shoot Vic in the shoulder, which sends him crashing out the window. The FBI storms the house and pulls everyone out. The escaped mobsters get sent back to New York to go back to prison, and that's a very unceremonious end for them. Everybody else in the family is brought into a room with the Furpos for Agent Pizer to question them. The only difference, though, is Sarah. Sarah apparently escapes being questioned about what was going on, and she goes to talk to the priest, who confirms that the money was returned to him with a note. So Agent Pizer
would have been funnier if the priest tried to keep the money, though.
Very different ending, but still a better dark comedy, perhaps.
I think so, yeah.
So Pizer tries to get Mrs. Anderson, the bank manager's wife, to identify the Furpo brothers as the bank robbers. She says she can't. Timmy says that the brothers saved them from getting hurt in the hostage situation. The shop boys tell the agents that the brothers bought 3 ski masks at their shop. And since you found ski masks in that car in the river, and they don't have any ski masks, they must have ditched them after the robbery. However, Alvin's kleptomania saves the day as he says, "You want to see ski masks? I'll show you ski masks," and pulls 3 ski masks out of his jacket.
Any idea where he got the second set of ski masks? I didn't catch that.
He stole them while
he stole
in the
them.
shop.
Yeah. Okay, so it was just the same stop, basically.
I think a funnier bit would have been for them to go over the top a little bit more and pull out even more ski masks.
yeah, like he's collecting them. He's got the
he has like 40 of them.
Yeah,
he's like a fucking 1950s watch, like stolen watch salesman on the corner of the street with the trench coat that opens up and it's just ski masks.
Yeah, classic.
That'd be so good.
So Agent Pizer demands to know where the Furpo brothers were at the time of the robbery. And Sarah comes in at this point. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, Cliff, the bank manager, for whatever reason, Sarah and Cliff weren't brought into the room for questioning initially. So, Sarah and Cliff come back in. and claim that they were with them. The Firpo brothers were with them Christmas shopping. And all of the townsfolk in the room, like one by one, back up the lie. At this point, the priest comes in with the money from the bank heist, and Pizer is pissed. He tells the Firpo brothers that he thinks they're getting the break of a lifetime and not to screw it up, and tells everybody basically to get the hell out of there. So at the conclusion of the movie, Ma Firpo and the brothers go to get on a bus, but Sarah shows up to say goodbye to Bill. Bill asks her what she thinks about him maybe moving to paradise, and they kiss. Ma Firpo sees what's going on and basically tells the bus driver, let's go. Bill is definitely staying. And the bus driver drives off with Bill shouting goodbye and walking off hand in hand with Sarah, and the credits roll.
It was a movie.
It was a movie. It could use some more stink on it, but like it wasn't as bad as I was led to believe.
It was better than I expected it to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good.
It does not deserve the malign that it gets online.
No, it is.
Or upon its original release. This was absolutely panned by critics.
It is absolutely fine to throw on during Christmas as like a Christmas movie if you have to kill 100 minutes.
It's fine. It's about as fine as any fucking random Christmas movie that comes out. All of the dregs that didn't get, the licensing bought by TNT to play every single year ad nauseum.
TNT and Lifetime and Hallmark are like the other two big ones where it's just as soon as December hits, nothing but fucking Christmas stuff.
Well, yeah, but like Hallmark now plays like new stuff, but like stuff you've never heard of, like Christmas Time in Breckenridge or something.
They're making all of those. That's the thing.
And it's all the same movie. It's she has a high-powered job in New York. He likes to chop wood at home and give his mom soup. How will they ever fall in love?
And like half of them are starring Melissa Joan Hart now. It's the same movie over and over and over.
Yeah. If you ever want to just give yourself a chuckle, look through the titles of the Hallmark Christmas movies. They are formulaic.
Hallmark Christmas movies. No, I just want a list. I don't want to buy them.
It's like, buy Hallmark Christmas movies. It's just a bundle. It's just a flat fee, and you get 500.
Here we go. We have Checking It Twice, which is a photo of just a woman in a ski cap and a dude with a hockey stick.
Oh, you're gonna see a lot of that.
Where Are You Christmas? Which is just a black and white photo of a woman in like a business blazer. Under the Christmas Sky, which is two middle-aged people looking up at like Christmas lights.
Nuclear strike.
Christmas by Design, which is a dude wearing a knit sweater and a woman with like a leather-bound book, like ready to take notes, like she's a designer. I get it.
No, it's a grimoire. She's casting a spell to kill Christmas.
Mystic Christmas, which is just two people and then a seal in the background.
It's a sequel to Mystic River, actually. Sean Penn is great.
I bet it's really sad.
It's so sad.
Joyous Noel, but joyous is spelled like the French way, like Joyeux.
Juke.
Which is just two people holding hands, and the woman is staring at the guy longingly, but like he seems out of her league.
Yeah, I think
Flipping for Christmas, which is exactly what you think it is two people holding paintbrushes at a Christmas tree. Never Been Christ.
Is it a rom-com about Santa?
The Santa Summit, which is three chicks dressed as Santa. I'm assuming that's a literal Santa.
The cabal of Santas.
Dude, I hope that's actually a gender-bent Santa movie. That would rule.
Navigating Christmas. A Heidelberg Holiday.
Who the fuck is Heidelberg?
I don't know. A Merry Scottish Christmas.
Who the fuck is Mary Scott?
Uh, Holiday Hotline, which is a man on a cell phone and a woman with a headset. Catch Me If You Claws.
Jesus Christ.
Holy
I
shit.
feel like I
I'm
honestly
losing my
I feel
mind.
like they've got one dude employed for minimum wage that's like us, and they're like Christmas puns. Just keep churning them out. And he's like, all right, let me think about it.
Letters to Santa, Holiday Road, Christmas in Notting Hill, Haul Out the Holly Lit. Whoa, this is Haul Out the Holly Lit Up.
So some of these are like fucking asylum movies where they have a similar title to another movie to try and trick people into watching them. Like fucking.
Oh, this was a Baltimore Christmas. It's a Biltmore Christmas. I was gonna say I
Okay.
wanted to see a Baltimore
I'd
Christmas.
watch a fucking Wire Christmas special.
My Norwegian Holiday, Not So Royal Christmas.
The
Christmas
only
with a
Baltimore
Kit.
Christmas movie I'd watch is one written by Stavros Halkias.
Oh my, that'd be so good. I fucking love his Sunday post with him just with a thick fucking Baltimore accent talking about how the Ravens are gonna win.
Oh, Ronnie
is
Ronnie
so good.
Raven.
Yeah, it's so good. Sealed with a List.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I've hit
telling
the
you.
end.
I'm sure you haven't. I'm sure you've just hit your
You
tolerance
scratched
level
a
for it.
surface. I'm pretty sure Lifetime has two formulas. If it's Christmas time, Christmas pun named movies. If it's not Christmas time, a woman is beaten savagely by her husband.
It's just what was that Jennifer Lopez movie?
Jiggly?
That's not the one he's thinking of.
No.
He's thinking of the revenge one. Like
Yeah. Hang
like
on,
a
if I type
Peppermint or what was
if I type in Jennifer Lopez
enough
movie,
enough.
It's gonna come up with Jiggly.
Yes, enough.
There you go.
I was gonna put in Jennifer Lopez movie Beat by Husband.
Jesus Christ.
But it is called Enough. I do remember that now.
Yep. It's a
because she's
specific
had
brand
enough
of film. It's a specific brand. It's
yeah. Well, I mean, it's an offshoot of like the Girl Boss film. I feel.
Yeah.
Or the Girl Boss film might be a shoot off of that.
Yeah. There. It's a little bit different. It's like the Lone Wolf Revenge, but woman tinged.
But what if she has a vagina? Yeah.
There was
it's like what if Charles Bronson was a lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one that I actually kind of liked from 2017. I think it was an Australian film. I'm not 100%. But it's literally called Revenge. I think it's Aussie. I'm trying to see.
I mean, hey, it cuts right to the point. Like, I respect it.
Yeah, it's a what was it? Last House on the Left, Spit on Your Grave. Those sort of like defined it.
Yeah.
Straw Dogs.
Straw Dogs.
I mean, like
those
out of those personally.
Those kind of like lean more into the horror genre than like Enough does.
Most certainly.
True. At their core, they're just like revenge flicks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, which is it's a fine movie. I like a revenge.
I do too. But yeah, no, this was just sort of like a wonky. I think what they were going for was like an adult humor tinged Christmas movie, but they didn't lean particularly hard in any individual direction. And I think that's probably what provoked the negative reception to it, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a squeaky clean Christmas movie. It wasn't a foul-mouthed Christmas movie. It was just what it was, which was a amalgamation of some crime and Christmas.
It's a B version of a Coen Brothers movie. It like lacks the actual depth of wit or their ability to make those like convergence moments where you have a bunch of criminals all going after the same thing actually work. It just doesn't work this in a way that's very satisfying in this compared to like a Raising Arizona or like a Oh Brother Where Art Thou
or Fargo even.
or Fargo. Yeah.
Like,
Right.
not
Also at the same time though, like Nick Cage was kind of coming off not a great run of movies. Like right before this, he did Guarding Tess,
I think that's the same director.
Deadfall, which has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Jesus. Looking forward to that one.
Um, Red Rock West, which we all really enjoyed, but nobody
Yeah, we like that
saw.
one.
Red Rock West was good.
Yeah.
Amos and Andrew, which
Did,
apparently was middling. Let's see what. Oh God, I just happened to see as I was going down to Nick Cage's filmography. Did you know that he supported Andrew Yang in the 2020 election?
No, I didn't.
Now you
I'm
know.
not even mildly surprised by that. Not even a little bit. Also, Hugh Wilson directed Guarding Tess.
Okay, it wasn't
And
David?
then you have like Dana
George Gallo
Carvey.
did Trapped in
George.
Paradise.
Okay.
Dana Carvey was literally coming off the Wayne's Worlds.
This is a weak follow up to the Wayne's World.
Right.
Correct,
And
yeah.
what was John Lovitz doing before this?
I think this is like just before he was doing The Critic, or like right when he was doing The Critic.
I have to look up television. The Critic 94. This was right when he was doing The Critic. He was coming off doing City Slickers 2, Coneheads.
Oh, I love The Hunt for Curly's Gold. Can we review that? We have an excuse now.
Yeah, I think he just had kind of like like Nick Cage was in a lull. Dana Carvey was coming off of, like two of the funniest like topical movies of the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I watched Williams the other day. And it's like it shouldn't have aged well, and it absolutely did.
It's weird, right? Like fucking a lot of those jokes that are obvious pop culture references play on their own for no apparent reason.
Yeah. Like when they're doing all of the advertisements.
Yeah, little yellow different.
Well, yeah, I mean, it helps that like fucking Adidas and Pepsi are still powerhouse companies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird film, and like I said, I don't think it leaned too hard in any particular direction and just got lost in the middle. So I don't know. It was fine. Throw it on for Christmas if you're not too offended by hearing the R word thrown around pretty heftily early on, but otherwise the rest of it is generally benign.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine is what I'll say.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like a C plus, B minus maybe.
Yeah, not much else to say about it. Carvey is pretty solid. I will say he was probably I do think Nick Cage was doing his best with what he had, but
Carvey went for it.
He was swinging for the fences as far as trying to make people laugh, and that does pull through. Definitely shines through in certain parts of the film. So, it is what it is. What fresh hell do we have for us next?
Oh, we have some fresh hell because we got Primal.
Yeah. So, dear listener, we fucking knew we had Primal.
We already watched it.
It was terrible. We gotta cover it. It's so bad.
It's like, look. Did you like Captain Phillips? Do you like animals? And do you like Con Air?
Okay, I like two of those three things.
Now, if you take those three movies and put them together like Play-Doh, it sounds like you should have a pretty good movie on your hands, right?
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Yeah, no.
I know better.
Right, well, save your vitriol. Next week, we killed Primal.
I told the co-host this. The villain looks like a jacked Elon Musk. Hope you're ready for that.
Yeah, you got a free Sopranos reference in there, and the only sneak preview I will give our listeners on this is Famke Janssen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her first name right.
I don't know. If I was going to try and pronounce it, I'd be a dick and be like Famke Janssen. But I think that might be incorrect also.
But
maybe racist.
Here's
Maybe.
here's
can't
the
be
only
racist
sneak
against the
preview I'll give
Netherlands.
you.
No.
Her plastic surgeon should be taken out behind a barn and shot. That is all I have to say about that. It's I was excited to see. I was like, oh, I can't believe they got her. What's she been up to since X-Men?
Yes.
And the answer is bad work. Bad work has been done since then. So
Wait. Who is this again?
Xenia Onatopp from Goldeneye.
uh
The
uh
one lady in the movie.
Yeah,
Jean Grey from the
yeah,
fucking
because like
Jackman X-Men.
I was watching this movie and was honestly thinking like they clearly wanted to age her to be about 35. Why didn't they just hire a 35-year-old?
I don't know. She was like fucking 50 something when this movie was shot.
She's 59 now. It was only so she
Yeah.
was 54.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of frozen muscles in her face is just terrible. Terrible. You didn't need to do that to yourself, girl. That's just one man's opinion. But yeah, no. There's a lot of weird shit in this movie, and a return, if I'm not mistaken, just double check. Yep. A return. One of our directors from a previous film is back
The
again.
Outcast guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I don't even remember Outcast. What was Outcast about again?
It was about
Crusaders in China.
Crusaders. Yeah, Crusaders in China. And
the one with Darth Vader.
Yes.
Yeah, Anakin Skywalker's all up on
Yeah.
the fucking. He's smoking the ope.
Who was not awful in that movie. I enjoyed him in that movie. Was not good, but he was fine in it.
I
The
hate
most
to tell
interesting character in that movie is the camera. The one time it does anything interesting,
you, follows a bucket of water.
it does. And it's
I
fucking.
hate to tell you, Outcast is Nick Powell's stronger entry on his.
So real quick, just because now I'm on the chick that played Jean Grey. In 2006, she won the Scream Award for sexiest superhero.
Cool.
in X-Men.
X-Men: The Last Stand. Apparently, she also won Best Flesh Scene, which I don't want to know what the fuck that means. I know what it means, but I'm going to ignore
If that doesn't
it.
go to David Cronenberg every time he has a movie out, I'd be really disappointed.
No, David Cronenberg misunderstands that category and is pissed every year.
Well, all hail the new flesh.
What was his most recent one? Is like the
the Crimes of the Future about eating microplastics.
Yeah, Crimes of the Future. He doesn't win the Flesh Award. He's like, what do you want me to do?
I've shown you all of the configurations of flesh I can think of.
You're sure Possessor was a shoo-in 1 year?
Well, that's his son. That's a different Cronenberg.
There you go.
Yeah.
Both of them are just trying for the Flesh Award, and nobody has had the heart to tell them that it's not what they think it is.
I would prefer that.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm sure the real spirit of the Flesh Award is far more upsetting than anything Cronenberg can give us.
Oh shit! I forgot she was also in this other I don't know if I'm about to shit talk something that's gonna get me yelled at. Did either of you guys see Knights of the Zodiac?
I did not see it. I was about to look at it.
Very nearly every episode of the anime, and I'm pretty sure I haven't seen the movie. I think it might be that she is the only white person in that movie.
Watch.
I think it might be. Okay,
no, there are
seen
some
it.
other white people.
Are there? Okay, I thought it was like
Eisman.
Sean Bean is in it.
Sean
really?
Bean
That's
is
fucking
in
weird.
So he
I
dies.
thought it was a Japanese production.
It might be.
Hang on, because there are a lot of white names going on here.
The
maybe
Pegasus will rise.
Maybe it is an American production because the Knights of the Zodiac was the American name of Saint Seiya.
I mean, like it was released in Japan and distributed by a Japanese distribution company.
The director's Polish.
Yeah, the director's Polish. The screenplay is by a guy named Josh Campbell.
It's not. I watched it. That's that's as far as I can get in my endorsement.
U.S. Japanese co-production.
Okay. Oh, the writer wrote 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was good.
Oh, neat.
But anyway, so yeah, I don't even remember how we got. Oh, because we were talking about Famke.
Mopka, yeah.
Yeah. That's how we got there.
Yeah, she's experiencing a weird late career, but who knows, man? This podcast started because people thought Nick Cage was on the downswing. Who knows what her renaissance will bring?
The Famkasance.
Yeah, the Famkasance. Yeah, I can't think of a good podcast
closing
title for one covering her movies yet. Give me some
Yeah.
time. I'll think about it. I'll bring the big guns on our review of Primal.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, listeners, for joining us where we finally escaped from paradise. That was harrowing, and I hope not to have to experience it again. If you're starving for content from us in between now and the release of our reviews of Primal, you can find us on social media. We're on Twitter at cagefight_pod. We have a very, very popular Patreon where you can give us $1 a month and skip all the ad nonsense. Rich, where can they find that again?
Patreon.com/NickCageFight. Look, I'm not going to give you the pitch. Just give us $1. Put $1 in an envelope. You don't have to put anything on it. Throw it in the mailbox. It'll get to us.
It will get to us.
Yeah.
They will know.
Yeah, they'll know. It's another $1 to go into the Nick Cage fight, guys. Somewhere on the East Coast. They just write on the envelope East Coast.
Yeah. We go down to the shore every morning and collect.
Yeah, it shows up on the beach. Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you for tuning in. Tune in next time for Primal. And as always, dear listeners, through thick and thin, through IT issues and recording difficulties, please remember, we most certainly appreciate you.
Bye 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 bye
Bye.
bye bye bye
Bye.
bye 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 bye.